I don't know. I suppose I'm feeling a little homesick. Don't get me wrong, Skyrim is really beautiful in its own way, but it's not Valenwood. I can't go home. I'd rather not get into that right now. Maybe I'll explain some other time. Thank you for asking, but I don't know. I just really miss the lushness of the forest, the secret rivers and the sun through the leaves. Go on, I'll follow. Here I am. This place, it reminds me of my home within one of the great grottos. The light would slip through the cracks between the branches, like here. We used to lie on a bed of moss and watch the starlight, my young sister and I. I'm not ready to do that yet. Okay. It had been a dry summer. Most prey had moved north, and my sister and I had been hunting a royal stag for a few days to feed our family. We spent the night in a tree just like this, coiled safely in her branches. So we thought, let's talk about something else. Later, then. Here. My sister was, as I mentioned, very young. She wasn't very experienced and hadn't left the village before. And so, when we were swarmed by Horvor in the night, she panicked. Yes, I did manage to save her, but at a great cost. Ifre's blessings. I fought the Horvor with all my might, but there were too many of them. I shot 3 with my arrows, and 4 more would dig their razor-like claws into my sister's chest. There was blood everywhere, and I couldn't bear the thought of losing her. Gotcha. At your service. I took a piece of burning bone from our fireplace, and I swung at the Horvor with it. They scattered, screeching. But as I swung, I lost my grip on the torch, and it fell into the dry leaves below. It took the tree thanes 2 days to get the fire under control. Hundreds of trees burned, and I heard their screaming within my mind every time I closed my eyes. I fled, and I didn't look back. Here I am. That's why I came to Skyrim. That's why I cannot return. Because although I miss my beautiful home, my kin, my family, dearly, there's nothing left for me there but regret. I broke the pact. I betrayed Ifrei. And so I'm condemned to fade into the darkness once I die. My name will be forgotten, erased, and my song will be forever silent. Better, thank you. I haven't talked about what happened in Valenwood to anybody else. It feels like a great weight has lifted. Thank you. Thank you for understanding. But my people wouldn't see it the same way, I think. In their mind, my sister's death would probably have been a fair sacrifice in return for the safety of the forest. People do crazy things for the ones they love, Oh, more than anything. I imagine she hates my guts, though, making her an accomplice to my crime. I'm very lucky to have you, yes? You really think so? Well, let's get moving, shall we? We've worlds to save and bandits to eat and all that. Oh, I was just admiring the color of your eyes. They're really quite striking, you know? When the light hits them, they're like deep pools. And did you know the tip of your nose wiggles when you speak? They do not! Some. Mostly when you think nobody's looking. I enjoy the small nuances in your expressions. The way you speak volumes, even when you say nothing. Maybe, but don't let it get to your head. That proud expression is making you look constipated. Here I am. Yes, my friend?
Yana, do you think
Oh, Ifrei. I'm sorry. I was just thinking.
No, they ain't. And they aren't gonna.
Do you know about a place called Evergreen Grove? I camped there once, after I just arrived in Skyrim.
you'll see.
It's a place of very simple beauty compared to all the gorgeous places you've taken me to. But I'd like to see it again. Do you think you could take me there, if we're ever in the area? Thank you. Yes? Yes! Oh, look at that waterfall. It's quite something, isn't it? Listen, while we're here, I actually wanted to talk to you about something sort of important. Maybe we could just stay here a while and just talk? Do you recall our conversation about my sister and the forest fire? I've been thinking about what you said, that you would have done the same thing had you been in the same situation. You've been so kind to me. You took me to all these beautiful places just because I mentioned feeling homesick. Although you very clearly had better things to do. You listened to my story, and even when you knew the truth about me, you didn't judge. You stayed with me. And truth is, my friend, what I did for my sister, I'd do it all again. Not just for her, but for you. You've come to mean very much to me. Very much. Come here. If you need me, I'm here. So what now, you ask? Ah, how very romantic of you. Well, that's mostly up to you. Although before we go there, I have to make one thing clear. I will not marry you. I will not move into your wooden house and cook meals for you. And I will not sit around at home waiting for you to come home for a quick romp every now and then. That I won't do. If you want to end it right here, I will be distraught. But I'll understand. I was lucky to have you, even if just for one night. But if you're willing to keep me at your side as your equal, I'll follow you to the end of the world, and I'll love you forever. Then by your side, I'll stay. Is everything all right? Oh, you charmer, you. So go on, I'll follow. What about him? No, I don't. I have respect for him as the Lord of the Hunt, but Auri teaches that the Bosmer form is sacred. Changing our form is forbidden, except in the case of the Wild Hunt being called. A Bosmer who changes into a werewolf or similar is condemned to return to the formless ooze we were created from, breaking her connection with Auri. However, there are cults of Hercene worshippers all around Valenwood, and Hercene, like Auri, talks about the Wild Hunt. Perhaps they are, in some ways, two sides of the same coin. Hercene's cult are what we would be without Auri's guidance. Well, it's difficult to explain. The Wild Hunt is a weapon of sorts, one used only in the most dire of circumstances. As I mentioned before, we were once formless, chaotic, shape-shifting beings. Auri gifted us our sacred Bosmer form, saving us from that chaos. The Wild Hunt allows us to return to that chaos, becoming unstoppable shape-shifting god creatures. Unfortunately, it also cuts us off from Auri completely, and those who change their forms for the Wild Hunt end up tearing themselves to pieces. Once the battle is over, it's really not something that happens often. As far as I know, it's only happened 3 times in all of history. I suppose it does. But don't expect to see me turning into a liquid monstrosity. I'm happy just the way I am. Hello?